Learning outcomes. At the end of the chapter, the student should be able to cite appropriate techniques and tools for formative assessment. Use appropriate techniques and tools for formative assessment. Explain how scoring rubrics can facilitate formative assessment and reason why self-assessment is an important feature of formative assessment.
Let's proceed with Chapter 9, Formative Assessment. Under Formative Assessment, we have techniques for formative assessment. First, we have response card. These cards are pre-printed or written. This allows the teacher to gather yes or no response from the student. A good example of response card is flashcards. Next, we have hand signals. A common example of hand signals are thumbs up and thumbs down. This allows the teacher to monitor the student's learning process on the real time. Next, we have games. Games turns into lesson into game-based learning or gamified instructions. When we say game-based learning, these are topics that turned into game to make the learning more engaging to the students. Next, we have games for formative assessment. First, we have Socrative. Socrative is a classroom engagement app that turns assessment into gamified learning. Next, we have Kahoot. Kahoot is an application that constructs a homework or assignments. This app allows the teacher to customize their quiz into games according to their activity. Next, we have Quizlet. This app converts the data into gamified form. Next, we have Quiziwiz. This app lets the student monitor their own progress in the activity. This app also allows the student to identify their learning gaps throughout the learning process. Next, we have Quizalize. This app lets the teacher to track the student's work in a granular level. Lastly, we have Clickers. This app focuses on a series of abstract cards.
Good morning, everyone. Let's proceed to self-assessment and formative assessment. So what is self-assessment and formative assessment? Self-assessment and formative assessment is a process where students reflect on their own learning and progress. It's a crucial component of formative assessment, which focuses on improving learning while it's happening, rather than just evaluating it at the end. Students actively participate in evaluating their understanding and identifying areas needing improvement. For example, let's say students are learning about the different types of ecosystem. After a lesson and some activities, the teacher might ask students to complete a self-assessment worksheet. This worksheet could include checklist, rating scale, and open-ended question. In checklist, students check off concepts they feel confident about. In rating scale, students rate their understanding of each concept on a scale. In open-ended question, students answer questions like, what was the easiest concept for me to understand? What concept am I still struggling with? In conclusion, self-assessment is evaluating your own skills performance at the end of the discussion. That's all. Thank you.
So let's proceed to scoring rubrics and formative assessment. In formative assessment, teachers will provide students with feedback to help them improve while they are still learning. This feedback becomes more specific and useful when it is based on scoring rubrics, especially in analytic rubrics. Rubrics
List the criteria and describe what is expected in a student's performance. Analytic rubric is in particular give detailed feedback on different parts of task, helping students understand their strengths and areas for improvement. So according to Bookhart 2018, they are an effective tool for guiding both teachers and giving feedback on students in tracking their progress.
The last topic in this chapter is additional formative assessment strategies. In Watanabe's book on mindful assessment, there are 6 essential fluences of innovative learning in 2016. First, round-robin chart. A round-robin chart is a collaborative formative assessment strategy where small groups of students pass around a chart or paper to record their responses to open-ended questions or share information on a specific topic. For example, the teacher divides the class into 5 groups, and then the teacher gives a certain topic, then each group writes down their answer, then passes the chart to another group to add more ideas. That's how the round-robin chart works. Second strategy, questioning strategies project. Questioning strategies project refers to a project or initiative focused on improving the use of questions to enhance teaching, learning, and student engagement. The primary goal of QST is to move beyond simple recall question and encourage students to explore, analyze, and apply knowledge. Third, three-way summaries form. Three-way summaries form are a teaching learning tool in which students respond to a question or topic inquiry by 3 different summaries. What are these 3 different summaries? First, short summary. Short summary composed 10 to 15 words. Second, medium summary. Medium summary composed 30 to 50 words. Third, longer summary composed 75 to 100 words. The fourth strategy is think, pair, share. Think, pair, share is a collaborative learning strategy where students first think individually about a question or problem, then discuss their ideas with a partner, and finally share their insight with a larger group or in the class. Fifth, exit admit tickets. Exit admit tickets is a quick informal assessment or reflection activity used either at the beginning or end of a lesson to gauge student understanding and provide feedback to the teacher. The purpose of exit admit tickets is to activate prior knowledge, focus student attention on the lesson, and assess what students already know about the subject. And the last strategy is creative extension. Creative extension is a method of education that leverages art and performance to communicate information, particularly in the fields like agriculture. The goal of creative extension is to make education more accessible, engaging, and effective by tapping into different learning style and preference. SpongeBob SquarePants!